Welcome to For Felliness, Belysning.
You are not broken. You are out of balance. And there is a path home. This is For Felliness, Belysning. From the Alaska ulfhednar, ancestral morning light for those who have been through hell and are still standing. This nonprofit has a sliding scale guidance at alaskaulfhednar.org/guidance. For Felliness Belysning begins now. Every day, someone's little girl, daughter, sister, girlfriend, fiancé, wife, cousin, mother, auntie, grandmother, great-grandmother, elder, disappears, shattering a family, a community, the world. There is something we can all do. Remember them.
Well, be sure to check out Rewriting Your Emotional Recipes and understand the ancestry, belonging, and the emotional patterns that shape your life. You can find this book for download and purchase at author.akoutlaw.com. Good morning and happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to all of you. I hope this week is going well. This week, of course, the week of Thanksgiving, and that time at which to be gracious and just thankful for all the things in our lives and the growth that we've had. There's been quite a bit, I hope, this year. So lots to be thankful for. And as along that line, I want to say thank you to all of you who have liked, followed, and subscribed. Without you, of course, these shows and books would not be, wouldn't have value. So I'm glad that you've joined me along the way. For those of you who didn't see in the previous screens, by all means, and of course for those of you on radio, probably didn't see either, but we do have an ebook out for sale, $16.99 USD. You can download that at author.akoutlaw.com and check it out, the book. It's a wonderful process that I've developed over the years of working with a multitude of people, particularly with symptoms of PTSD and just real trauma in one's life. It just helps us to kind of reorganize and just kind of refocus on the real important things of our lives. So be sure to check that out and be sure to get a copy. Again, PDF, you can download it and read it wherever you are. It's a wonderful little addition to your library. I also want to give a huge shout out this morning to New Reality TV, newrealitytv.com, of course, a streaming channel dedicated to providing us with a different spiritual perspective that can offer us insight and new ideas as to how to journey and travel through this lifetime in a productive, rewarding, self-rewarding way. Today's show, of course, brought to you by two pages, draperies and shades. Wonderful collection of draperies and shades for their home or business. Beautiful collections, clean lines, beautiful design. You will not be disappointed. Check them out, and all of our other affiliates, all the other wonderful affiliates who support the show here. You can check them all out at akumedia.akoutlaw.com and check out sponsors. So, wonderful collection. For those of you who may have comments and questions this morning, we do have our live chat open on whatever streaming platform you may be dialing us up on, except for radio, but that's okay. But in the meantime, bring those questions and comments and we'll deal with them one at a time. Well, today we're talking about the silent quest, and I love the fact that we're talking about this on a Tyr's Day. Now, Tyr, for those of you who don't know the Norse legends and lore, Tyr was a god of justice, of law, of ultimately he would begin kind of recognition as far back as the history records go as the god of war as well. So he had a lot that he was kind of rolling with. But what he brings to us is this understanding of justice and equality and the balance in life. Now, he would go on to become much more accredited with having an abundant amount of courage, as he would be the god who would be willing to have placed his hand in the mouth of Fenrir, that Fenrir would be chained, knowing the consequences that he would be bit, but most importantly, that Fenrir needed to be secured. So, weighing that balance, he of course agreed, and the rest is Norse legend. Today we're talking about the silent quest, and when I speak of the quest today, I want us to think about the quest for whatever, right? The quest for joy, the quest for harmony, the quest for peace, comfort, all of those things that we want in our lives, regardless, right? So remember, not those things that we want to enact on others, but that we want in our lives. Many times we get caught up in this, well, if that person's unhappy, that person over there, whoever they are, if I can make them a little less happy, I'll be happy. Well, that's ridiculous. Okay, their effect, their state of mind, their situation is absolutely irrelevant to ours. Our joy, our peace, our comfort, all of those things that we want in our lives is in here, not over there. So by them suffering, by them struggling, by them being downtrodden in any way, has no bearing on our joy, on our peace. I took a very long time in really bringing that to my personal life. I was of the mind that particularly when I was feeling more pressed upon, when I was feeling more insignificant in the big picture of things, I felt by knocking others down pegs or two, that would make me feel better. That I would find my peace and joy when they were uncomfortable, when they were just inconvenienced, right? I've come to learn that had no bearing on me and my joy and happiness. And it wasn't until I was able to deny that energy and just kind of move past that I could really truly find my own joy, my own peace. For as long as I focused on others, making them uncomfortable, making them, attempting to find a superiority based on, pushing them down, that this would lead to my joy, and it didn't. And if it did, it was fleeting. Whereas now I've come to the place where I seek joy for me. But my joy doesn't cause unjoy, if that's actually a word, to other people. That's not what it's about. It's about seeking the inner joy in me, finding what makes me happy. So in earlier parts of my shamanic journey, as I began to have visions and as I began to communicate with the ancestors, I spoke to them and I said, why is it then that no one seems to care, or no one, the perception is no one else cares what my state of mind is, where I'm at? Why is it that, I'm kind of required, particularly under the old monotheistic practice, why am I kind of required to coddle them? Why do I need to be superficial and kind of promoting them over me? And it dawned on me that I don't. I don't need to. Their responsibility is them. My responsibility is me. I truly have to involve myself in loving, in being with, in being happy with, being content with me. Well, how do you do that? How do you simply make yourself happy when there's nothing around you really making you happy? Well, there's a couple of things here. There's the perspective. And this one took me years to master, really. Because truly, as I looked at situations that were occurring in my life, I saw their influence, their impact in my life, the immediate impact. Someone cutting me off in traffic. Well, to me, originally, it meant, oh, well, now I'm going to be late because that person just cut me off, or that was unsafe. It could have been. I'm adding pieces to what is. I don't need to. So now, as I drive to work and people cut me off in traffic, because it still happens, believe it or not, even with a vehicle that's marked and you could obviously tell that I'm driving to work, people still cut me off in traffic. That, as long as they don't hit me, okay, my day hasn't been interrupted. The amount of time that I had to take my foot off the gas and allow that person to cut in traffic, and then reapply the gas to continue my journey and commute to the office, the timing is moot. I missed a second or two. If I'm that far behind, then that was my responsibility in the first place. So, really, as I began to look at things not from others influencing and affecting me, but looking at it from my perspective, it began to have a whole different look. Now, as I mentioned, as I'm driving to work and someone cuts me off, okay, they must be in a hurry. Does it affect me? Does it make me inferior to them? Does it change my position in the world? No. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that person was in a bigger hurry than I am in. Okay. So I begin to think less about extrinsically to me, and bringing it back intrinsically. Well, as I would come to find out later in further sessions and further trances I would have, love is the same way. For many years, I thought that love was affecting that person, buying them flowers, buying them whatever they wanted, keeping them whatever. To the point where I felt that I had become lost in that process. Who was I? And in some cases, those needs that I had weren't being reciprocated. So I was offering, the love of myself to these individuals, and the reciprocal value wasn't there. This led me to understand that my happiness, my love, my peace isn't out there. It's in here. So when I love, as an example, my shield maiden, when I love her, what does that mean? Well, that means that I do things for her. I like to be with her. I'm comforted in her presence. And I feel feelings, and I express those feelings. But her reciprocation of those feelings is not necessary. Now, granted, she may, and she does, but it's not required in the equation. She is extrinsic of me. And as much as I love her, I have to love here first. I have to reconcile me first. And then that which I do for her doesn't matter. It's purely for harmony. It's for coexistence. It's for peace. It's for her recognizing my emotional state. But my emotional state has to be my emotional state first. Then, as I give it to her, in this case, what she does with it is up to her. I can't make her love me. I can't make her reciprocate, the display of affection. That's not for me to do. I'm simply in charge of me. I can't change her. I change me. Okay? So, looking at it, one of the things that my shield maiden loves to do, and I very much I've never appreciated it up till fairly recently, is that she'll provide little treats and little things, little gestures and little things along every day. It's consistent. For a long time, I didn't recognize it. I didn't see those things. I wanted the grandiose, the big, whatever, the movies, right? But that's not how she expressed emotion. That's not how she expressed feelings. Is she wrong? No. That's just not how she does things. Okay. But when I began to change my perspective, I began to look at those little things and not the big things, not waiting for the big things, but seeing, but changing my perspective, and now noting those little things that she does all day, every day. It changes. Now all of a sudden, I can see the display. It's glaringly obvious now, because here I've changed my perspective a little. Another example of a boss. I had a boss in the past who was very hard on me, and I struggled. I struggled because I just thought, this person, they hated me. They didn't like me, and they only hired me because I was the only person who would, apply for this position. And so for a long time, I struggled. I struggled thinking, this person doesn't like me. When it eventually, looking back now on it, it wasn't that they didn't like me, because I've seen them now. I've met with them after the fact and spoken with them. They wanted the best for me. They wanted me to be the person I was, the hard charger and the guy that got things done. They wanted that person to come out. And this was their way, the way they had learned to do that. Are they wrong? No. I just needed to change my perspective to see that. And when I did, we got along fabulously. And we we're very good friends now. So there's a couple of things there, and not sure if you got them all, but the first big piece is focusing intrinsically the quiet quest. We have to be ourselves first. We have to be intrinsic to ourselves first. Then, changing our perspective as to the incoming energies allows us to kind of see things very differently and to accept or deny accordingly. If it fits our model, great. If it doesn't, thank you, but no thank you. So that's this morning's illumination, is really just checking ourselves first. Intrinsic inventory. Changing our perspective on incoming energies. If the incoming energy matches that inventory, great, let's absorb it. If not, let's deny it. There's no rule that says we have to accept everything that comes our way. Nothing at all. All right, so as always, we are going to look at the runes today. And our rune today is Lagus. Now, today you'll note Lagus is in what is referred to as an inverted state. Okay? In other words, the universe, the gods in general, are issuing us caution. Today, Lagus, in an inverted state, warns us of poisonous thoughts. It warns us that, again, as we turn things intrinsically, looking inside first, we begin to recognize this toxicity and poison that's being propagated, sometimes inadvertently. Sometimes people, have a history. They've grown up a certain way. They've had certain interactions in their lives, and so they're inadvertently passing that negative energy on. They don't mean to do it, but they do. And then the challenge is for us to recognize that and deny it, and to go, yeah, no, that's not you. That's not who you are. You're a better person than that, right? So Lagus, its cautions today talks about manipulations and depression, withering, avoidance, fear, fantasy, poison, toxicity. It warns us that, again, we can have multiple perspectives of energy being received. So being cognizant of that and being aware to manage it. What's of benefit to us? And remember, no one says we have to accept everything. So if you're getting a bunch of toxic energy from an individual, deny it. walk away. Be somewhere else. All right? Okay, I'm getting looked at very, very sternly. So I am going to take a real quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk about how we can put this into our everyday life. We'll be right back after this short message.
Wear your signal. Australian t-shirts, prints, designs that travel well. S2E234. Find your fit. Saying the week in this description.
It's happening.
It's in the air. The time is now.
We're all waking up.
We're waking up.
We're all waking up.
It's all shifting.
New vibrations.
It's you.
It's you.
It's me. It's all of us.
Together.
A new time.
A new day.
A new energy.
A new energy.
New reality.
Awaken with us.
Awaken with us.
Awaken with us.
NewRealityTV.com. Brew a calmer day. Mountain Rose Herbs brings organic teas and botanicals that you can feel good about. Explore the blends. Find the link in the description below.
These words are stirring something heavy in you. You don't have to carry it alone. Sliding Scale Spiritual Guidance with sessions outside normal business hours is available through the Alaska ulfhednar. Visit akulfhednar.org/guidance to book a free discovery session.
Check out our book, Rewriting Your Emotional Recipes, where we'll walk through a 7-step model as to how you take in reality, and how that reality and your interpretation of reality alters how you feel, how you think, and more importantly, how you're going to operate in the future. So it's almost like writing your plans to handle reality. All right, welcome back. Thank you for taking that quick break with us. And again, if you do get a chance, visit my website, author.akulfhednar.com. Check out the book, Rewriting Your Emotional Recipes. In this book, I actually walk you through the process as defined by my ancestors through trends of absorbing reality and processing it through to our memories, and how memories then turn around and become the imagination at which we are going to almost provide a level of premonition to the future. So we're kind of building this cycle within the mind. In the book, it also includes a large workbook where you can look at each stage of the thought process and evaluate where you're bringing up things that are not constructive and not productive for you, right? So check out the book. It's $16.99. You can immediately download it. It's a PDF file. You take a look, read it wherever you are, and kind of look through some of the workbooks. For those of you who are here in Anchorage, on January 8th from 5 to 7 at the BP Energy Center, we'll be offering this course, a conference, where we'll be offering it to the public, and we'll walk through the process. We'll point out the workbooks and the worksheets as to how to identify these things, and to help us to all find joy, find peace, find comfort, find happiness. So check out those things. Again, today's show brought to you, as always, well, not always, but brought to you today by 2 pages, drapery and shades. Check them out. You can check those out with all of our other affiliates at our webpage, akumedia.akoutlaw.com/sponsors. We deeply appreciate all of our affiliates and all of their commitments to our programs. So please check them out. It's a perfect time. Lots of different ways to get to those gifts, those last minute gifts for the holidays. So be sure to check out our webpage, and there you will find, hopefully, that perfect gift for that friend that you can never find something for. Hopefully we got something for you. And for those of you who need another ear to bend, maybe somebody to talk to, help you get through some of your processing, by all means, feel free to check out our guidance sessions available, one-on-one, group sessions, small groups, relationship, couples, whatever. You can check those out at our website, ulfhednar.org/guidance. There you can sign up, book an introductory session, and we can talk about it. And then if we decide to move forward, we can get that all set up and get you taken care of. All right, so check those out as well. All right, so today we're talking about the silent quest, and we're talking about turning that search for happiness, that search for joy, that search for whatever it is that you're looking for, turning that search intrinsically and kind of putting out of our mind temporarily this idea of extrinsic, needing something extrinsic to do this with. Obviously, having that immediate understanding that we're going to be looking intrinsically and not extrinsically helps us to begin the process of regular denying of energy, denying people, their influence on our peace of mind. So, taking some time to really focus on turning our view of the world intrinsically, and begin to look at how we're receiving some of this information, some of this energy from the universe, and certainly from our surroundings, and making sure that it's now falling into the mold of our search for joy, our search for happiness, our search for peace, and not all this other stuff, not riling everything up, not making things difficult. And if we are being triggered, if we do find ourselves at a place where we're feeling that quick gasp and that energy kind of tightening of the chest, maybe raising of the shoulders a little bit, if we do find ourselves in that situation, understanding the thought process and how we maintain control the whole time, regardless what's overwhelming us, regardless what's coming at us, regardless of the influence, we have the control all the time to deny energy, to push that away, and to accept another perspective in its place. So we always maintain that authority and that energy within the self. So kind of retaking some of that power back, some of that energy management back. Stop surrendering it to whatever comes at us. Take control. So it's a great piece of advice, and I can tell you from 60 years of living, I discovered a peace I hadn't known up to that point. I discovered a peace when I turned my search for joy, for for all the things I was looking for. When I turned that search intrinsically, that's when it began to change for me. That's when I began to realize that other people had very minimal control until I let them, until I authorized them, until I gave them some level of authority within my thought process to control me. Once I took that back, I found a peace and a comfort and just an internal joy that, bar none. So I encourage each of you to take a moment, turn that look inside. Let the beacon of Tyr. Let him be your guide in providing for you this example of courage, that you can look inside you and find those things that you are most searching for in this lifetime. They're there. Trust me. All right, my friends. Today, Tuesday, I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this week. Of course, this week we have Thanksgiving. For those of you here in the United States, well, I think Thanksgiving's done quite a few places now. But anyway, in Thanksgiving, of course, we're thankful for all the things in our lives. I encourage you to think about looking inside, finding those reasons to be thankful for who you are. God, you're such a gift. You are the greatest thing ever. So I am so glad you joined me. I'm so glad that you're here and that you're providing for us this different perspective. So keep up the good work, and we will see you again tomorrow, where we'll talk about the power of Wotan and his quest for wisdom. All right, my friends, I wish you the very, very best today. Love and light, and have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. Bye, my friends.
Fulfilliness. Una. Hjälp oss med. Magnify. Tu för og. Kaliot.
If what we've touched today hits something raw for you, you don't have to carry it alone. We offer a sliding scale spiritual guidance with sessions outside normal business hours. Visit akulfhednar.org/guidance to book a free discovery session.